Hello, everyone. Welcome to our weekly live. I'm Christine Josti of Mail Something Pretty, and welcome back. I was not here last week, so thanks for your patience of me skipping a week. But I had a really nice visit. I went out to visit my husband's 98-year-old grandmother, and so we had a great visit, and so that was important to me. So that's why I wasn't here last week, but I am here today. So today is Tuesday, November 5th, the big day. Hi, Kim. Great. So we are working, and I figured let's have some fun today. So we're going to talk about colors and different ways of discovering color combinations. Hi, Nancy. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. And so let's see. Maybe I'll just get right to it. I'm trying to think. I don't know if I have a lot of chit chat stuff. So let me go to my desk here. There we go. Okay. So this is a very cool new tool that you will be able to buy tomorrow. And it kind of mimics in the annual catalog. They have a color section in here, and so it is a color wheel with Stampin' Up! Colors, which is kind of cool. And so I guess I did not go to the event last March. I think it was March that they actually had these wheels, and they gave them to all the participants. I was actually at softball training, which was fun. I had one more left. For those who don't know, my daughter plays softball in college, and so we always go to their spring training. And so one more year to do that. So I will miss the Stampin' Up! Event because it's always the same week. But so they kind of got an introduction to this wheel, and I had heard about it, and I saw it in the catalog. And then I have some experience with color. So I saw this, and this kind of made sense to me, but there was an element missing, and I don't know if you feel the same way. Hi, Mary Lou, and hello, Debbie. Nice to see you guys. I thought there was an element missing, and true, this part was missing. The interactive wheel part was missing, and I could figure out different things. But I know for those who have not had color theory before, that this may not have worked. It may have just been kind of just like colors, not necessarily an interactive wheel. So Stampin' Up! Has made this color wheel available for purchase tomorrow. So it's very exciting. So it has all the current regular colors on here. It does not have the in colors, but I'll show you. You can kind of pop in the in colors kind of where they'll be. On the back side, kind of explains this a little bit. And it also has all the neutrals on here. So that's nice. We have a lot of great neutrals. And so we're going to use this today. So let me put that aside. I think I'm going to make a card too. But let's talk about this first. All right. So called a color coach. They had a color coach years and years ago that was actually I forget what, say 3x3 size of like paper, like each of the papers, and it was fastened with like I don't know, a fastener, so you can move the papers around. But this is better in that it's kind of based on science and theory, and so you have different color combinations. So back in elementary school, you probably learned that the primary colors are red, blue, and green. So we have red, red, blue, and green. And so they form a triangle, although we have two greens over here. But anyways, they form a triangle. And so that's kind of this triangle here. So we'll talk about that in a second. But complementary colors. So complementary color to red is green. So complementary goes straight across the wheel. So red and green are straight across. Blue and orange, straight across. And yellow and purple, straight across. So those are what's called complementary colors. So you guys probably learned that in elementary school. But then you have all the other kind of color combinations that you can do. And so this wheel makes it easy. So you have what's called analogous. And so as you move it around, It's just showing you the analogous colors. So like this spectrum of colors that kind of, they're in the same family-ish that work together. So you could always pick colors in that, or you know, if you have all the blues or you have a little blue green, so that probably makes sense to you, right? Blue greens or yellows because they're next to each other on the wheel. And then the complementary are, remember I said they're across from each other, so you have these two windows. So we said that orange and blue were complementary, but then you have like the different hues. So for those of you who like wild wheat, that would certainly probably fit in right in here. So that would be like an orangey yellow. And that, you know, I think wild wheat matches beautifully with Night of Navy, and that makes sense, right? Because they're right across from each other. And so you can kind of play with like complementary green, and this is actually yellow, green, and red, violet. So it just kind of gives you an idea. And then triactic, you have that triangle. So remember I said the red, let's see, get it up right in the middle. So the red, the blue, and the green, red, blue, and yellow, excuse me, are primary colors. So that's right there, but you can kind of switch it. So you could have like this kind of fun purples with the little blue, green, and some more mustardy yellow. So that's kind of how you're using it. So let's show some examples before I lose you. Hi, Cindy. So this card, it was in my email today, and I actually copied this one. You'll see it. This is a new stamp set. Get the stamp set out, which is fun. There we go. Classic wedding. And so you get lots of components. You get the two-step stamping. So you get the outline of the car, and you can fill it in with colors. You have a windshield. This is for the tires. And then if you want to turn it into a wedding card, you know, you get the cans that you can put on the back of the car. You get the Just Married banner. You get some confetti here and some hearts. So it's kind of a fun set. So the first card, this is one of the examples that's Stampin' Up. I think they gave us 2 samples, so I had just copied it. But I want to show you kind of what they did with the colors. So they used, you can kind of see, so bubble bath, so, which is, I use the water painter, so watercolor wash. So it's bubble bath here, fresh fuchsia, Highland heather. I use grape, gorgeous grape ink, and then even some purple gems. So it's a lot of purple. So if you go over here, you can see those colors. So I used kind of the analogous, the range of, so I used bubble bath, fresh fuchsia, gorgeous grape, Highland heather. So they're all kind of right in here is what this card was made. And then you don't forget you have all those neutrals. So you can pick neutrals. Like neutrals are really important because if you have too many colors, it's busy. And so the neutrals kind of tones it down or makes something pop. So I think the neutrals here really make this Just Married banner pop. And then I think I said in my email, I used the Naggles, and then I used a touch of complementary because I went across, because complementary goes across. And I used, well, it doesn't matter. I used Old Olive. So that's where I got that. All right, so the other card, this one, I also copied from Stampin' Up because they always give samples with their bundles, and so copy them. Like that's what I do. And so it's using the same set, but I use the banners versus, or the, I just get mixed up. I guess this is a banner and this is the pennants. And then uses the soda cans, beer cans on the back. And so these colors is Lost Lagoon. Where are we? Lost Lagoon is here. And they use, I copy these colors directly. So they used Calypso Coral, Petal Pink. So they kind of use complementary, right? So here's the Lost Lagoon, and straight across are the colors here. So that's kind of, they're kind of nice tones that go with each other. And that's kind of where those colors came from. And this card is almost the same except for I stamped off. So it's kind of fun. You can kind of get a lighter toned car. And we're going to make another version, colors, of this card that I'll show you in a second. And then this one, well, I guess you could say I use a color wheel because I know red and green are complementary. So here you go, red and green, the neutral of white, but also some gold that really makes it pop. So I was pretty excited about this card to make, you can see cheers there, to make this set a little bit more versatile of making it Christmas versus just wedding. All right, so here we go. Here are the other two, and we're going to make another version of this card. So my wedding anniversary was yesterday. So it was 29 years, and my wedding color, because everyone has a wedding color, right, was called Huckleberry, but basically it was Blackberry Bliss. So I said, let's just make colors, you know, something that goes with Blackberry Bliss. So you guys all know that Night of Navy is my favorite color. And so those are kind of close in the color wheel. So then I decided to go with kind of the analogous. So I'm using this kind of spectrum of colors. So if you look on, I made this one first. So I used the navy car, and then my Huckleberry or my Blackberry Bliss are the hearts. There's some, I think you can see it, the pennants. It's kind of a dark color, pennants. And then, do it this way. And then Berry Burst. I use Berry Burst here. And then this sparkle is actually Petunia Pop, which is an in color. But I know that Petunia Pop would probably actually fit in right in between the Berry Burst and the Blackberry. So that kind of fits along that, you know, that color scheme. And I use a little fresh fuchsia. No, I didn't. That's Bubble Bath. Sorry. Bubble Bath. And even my heart's a Melon Mambo. So really, my color scheme is kind of right here. And so, and then the neutrals of I use beige. I used a little pattern paper that had beige, and I just colored in the bumper gray. So that's kind of how I got that color scheme. And this one is really the same colors, but you can kind of see how neutrals change it up a bit. So this one obviously is lighter than the darker one, but the colors are really identical. This is a stamped out version of the car, so it's a little bit lighter. And I use the Blackberry Bliss pennant, and I use the same pennant colors minus the glitter. And I still use the Melon Mambo. I use some purple gems. So it's the same kind of color scheme, but it all is tied together because they're all, you know, scientifically, they're next to each other on the color wheel. So it all kind of works. Okay. Whew. Thank you for that anniversary. Kim's is, oh yeah, that's right. I forgot. Congratulations. Oh, 10 years apart. That's right. We talked about that last year. Okay, so let's make a card. Move those aside. I didn't show you the dies. So these are the dies that goes with the set. And these are available tomorrow. The new online exclusives are being launched. And so this is part of that online exclusive lineup. And I put a link and I put the item number in the email this morning. But these are all the dies you get. And so you can use a lot of these dies even on their own. So the pennants, certainly you can use that on its own. And then you also have, where are they? Individual triangles. So you can put some of those I put on top of, which I'll show you. You get flowers, which is nice. You get two sets of these little, they're not quite daisy, but daisy-like flowers. And these ones are kind of a little bit more like roses. You get another banner. And with the photopolymer stamps, if you have something little, you can actually arch your stamp to fit in that. So you can use that for other things. But Just Married in this one already has that kind of curve, but you can certainly make photopolymer stamps. You have some greeneries, and that's how I made, there they go, the wreaths. So it's one die and it's one stamp, but when you cut them, they're separate. So that's how I was able to make the garland. I just kind of zigzag them. Or this one, I just curved it and made the wreath. And then, where did the first card go? Oh, here. And then this one, I just kind of made a bigger, not quite a wreath, but kind of like a wreath. So you can kind of play with that. So that's actually, that's a good stamp to use for lots of things. And then you have, you know, windshield, bumper, hearts. Hearts you can use for anything. Even with the bow, I put the cans on top, but you could even just put hearts on top. So anyways, just to show you some of the versatility. All right, so we're going to leave those there, and we are going to make a different colored, well, we're going to use those same colors, but I'm going to use a different neutral. So I was looking around to see what I had. So I'm going to make, my base will be gray granite on this card, and I'm going to use, this carried over from last year, Nature's Sweetness paper, and I haven't really used very much of it. But I think I'm going to use, I know, whew, is right, Nancy, my breath is, I'm going to learn, I'm sure there's more training on the wheel. This is just kind of based on my own color knowledge. And if I, you know, I can put more things together because I want you guys to like it and use it. I like to pick colors on my own, but again, I have the kind of the theory of already, so I kind of know that. But some people haven't been trained in the color theory, so. All right, so I'm just going to cut. I'm going to use this one. I figured it's kind of, there's a little writing, although I can't even tell which direction it goes. I can't even really read what it says, but there's a little writing on there. I'm going to use this one. And I'm going to make it 3 3/4 by 5. And this is, look at, I'm going to be hiding this beautiful gold, but I think that will be, it's like, that doesn't quite work. But this is a little bit, with a little texture, a little background, but not too busy. All right, I think that's the only thing I needed to cut. And I'm just going to go ahead and put that right on there, and then we'll make our car. So there'll be a little hidden goldness underneath. Again, that's kind of hard. Oh, yeah, I think I can read vanilla in there, so. All right, so that's our card base. And then for the car, so I already cut out, and so you can either stamp the car first, or I actually found it kind of works well to cut the car, and then we're going to stamp directly on it. And I do have 2, actually I have 3 just in case I make a mistake, but hopefully I won't. And they're big, so I use remember we learned that there's letters on the side, the E block. So it's kind of a big stamp. So you do need a bigger stamp, or if you have like the Stamparatus or some other stamp position tool, that would work too. I'm going to use Native Navy, and I'm going to actually ink the outline of the car. Just want to make sure I'm not inked for these ones. Oops. We'll find out if I needed that or not. But these ones, I use black Memento. But this one, I suppose, I'll use blue. And then you can kind of line it right up. My head might get in the shot here, but if you line up the 2 wheels, if you line up the 2 bottoms of the wheels, you'll pretty much get it right on. Look at that. So I'll do 2. So we were trying to decide what kind of car this is. It's a little bit vague. It's kind of old-fashioned. When I first saw it, and then I was remembering about it, I'm like, oh, I think it might be the backs of a Volkswagen. And then I saw it again, and I don't think it's a Volkswagen. It reminded me, and I think I wrote this in the email, my dad was a mechanic, liked to restore cars, and he had a 1946 Buick. He wanted to drive me to the prom in it, and I was little. So I didn't, whatever, I don't think I ever would have had him drive me to the prom, but we didn't have it then. but that's what it kind of reminds me of, an old car. So when you're lining these up, if you look through the block, and I know that's kind of far away for you to see, but you can kind of see, let me lift it up and you'll see. Oh, actually, hold on. I want to stamp. That's one version. Didn't want that to dry. You look through to the back taillights. Let's see. Here we go. Oop, this way. If you look through the back taillights, you can kind of see the outline, and then there's a hole. And so if you just look at those two things, you're pretty much going to have it lined up. So it's actually an easy one to line up. So you have the first generation stamped directly, and then that's like a stamped off. And I like them both. The one car I did with black ink to make it look like black. Actually, I did basic gray because I didn't want it too dark. I want you to see, because they have this variation of the ink in there. I think the blue almost looks like it's kind of like a black car. So you have choices. You can make your cards any color you want. But for this one, we're doing blue. And I'm not sure which one we're going to use yet. And okay. So the two different versions of these cards. This one I left the bumper white, I left the taillights white, and I left the outline of the window kind of white, because the one I copied, keep putting them away. The ones that I copied from Stampin' Up, that's what they did. So I just did it. But then on this one, I said, well, let me change. So I used just a smoky slate blends, and I colored it in. It's smudged just tiny, but nothing that you would ever notice. So I didn't bring up my gray blend, so we're going to leave ours white. But what I did bring up was Pool Party for the back window, because I don't want that to be just white. I think if you use like a light gray, or you used, I like the Pool Party. Just going to use a little scrap. So what I did, and oh, it's right here. I stamped it directly on, and I didn't like that. That's way too dark. I didn't like that. So let me show you. I'm just going to stamp off on scrap and then stamp. And again, you can kind of see the slats of the windows, so they're easy to line up. So you just get a little hint of, if you're looking through the glass. I think it gives it a little bit more depth than if I was just to leave it white. I'm going to stamp off this one too. Again, it just gives it a little bit of depth. Okay, and then the tires, it's just a little stamp, and I am going to use black. You just kind of see through it, and there is a little coloration, so it's not just a total flat black. Okay. And to keep checking my fingers. So the dies that I dropped on the floor, you can have pieces. They cut out like the outline rim of the window, cuts out the tail lights, two different pieces of the tail lights, and this little trunk lifter upper. And also do the bumper. So I'm just going to leave mine plain because I didn't bring up any silver, but I don't want it to be too busy because I have the pattern here, and then I want to focus on the car. And then I did bring up a cherry cobbler, and we'll see. We're going to wait till we're done because taillights are usually red. So I did color those ones in, and I left those ones blank. So we'll decide that at the end. So we can add that at the end. Nancy likes the depth of the window. Yeah, it's funny. It really makes a difference. I think like a smoky slate or even a gray granite would work too, but I kind of like the Pool Party. All right. And I've already pre-cut, good thing, because I dropped everything, some pieces here. All right, so now we're going to have to decide which one we want to use. So I have the dark car, which kind of looks nice on that pattern, and the lighter car. I think I'll save this one for another project. I think the darker works because I have all, that's a little bit busy. And so that makes it kind of pop out. So we'll use this one. And I already cut out, this was that piece with the ribbon that I said we're going to put the little cans on top, but you could definitely put hearts or flowers or something else, or you could just use that as a bow. You just cut it off as a bow. And then this is what the banner for the pennant looks like. And so, and then I have all these triangles. So what I did was, actually I'll glue one of them on there. I just glued some colors on top. And so that way it's one piece. So let me do that here with these ones. I will, let's see, I think I put just a little glue. Like these guys you can use for so many things, for birthday cards, for New Year's. I'll use my tweezers to pick out. All right, so, oh, well, I already messed up. I should have left that blank. I was trying to make 3 of them. We had different patterns, but I already put the glue on, so. All right, so that way, now we can build it. And the cans are, the stamp is one piece that has the 3 cans on there. And then the die, same thing, it's one piece and it cuts all 3, but it cuts them singles. So I'm just gonna put some glue on the base here. And I don't remember if this was, it doesn't really matter what the order is. I tried to keep them the order that they were stamped in. And I just did Memento black, and I'm just going to put these, let's see, make sure I get the right size. Oh, you know what? I cut out these glitter ones, I think. Let's use glitter hearts. Yeah, let's use some glitter hearts. All right. So I found it easier just to put a little dot of glue on the cans, and then we'll add the hearts on top instead of putting the glue on the tiny little hearts. So one of the hearts has 3 different sizes, so that's the middle size. And I have all these other sizes. I think I'm going to save them. And then I was thinking we could turn this into a shaker card. And I know we've done shaker cards a lot lately, but what you could do is cut the outline of the car in here, put the window sheet kind of in between. You could stamp underneath it, have the outline, and put shakers in there. I'll do one, but I think that would be kind of fun. All right, so this I'm going to glue right onto the back of the bumper. And then that really comes together. I think I'm going to use dimensionals. So I'm going to use big ones for the car. And then, do I have little ones? I used to. Yep. These mini ones help with the little cans. Now I'm going to have so many wedding cards. I only know of one wedding that I'm going to, but I'll be ready. Save them for when, I know weddings kind of come in spurts, right? We're going to a wedding the end of December. All right, so I'm going to put that down towards the bottom because I'm going to put some hearts on top. And then we're going to also use our pennants here. So you decide how you want to arrange them. I have this one, I just use one row and I put the Just Married on top. This one I used kind of 2 rows. Oh, did one fall out? That needs to be glued back. I had 2. I'll fix it. That one has 2. This one has 3. And then you put the words on top. So if the, if these don't reach all the way across, you can put your words so that it doesn't matter. I did cheers in a big pennant or 2 different sizes. So let's see where we want this to go. We want it up high or down low. I kind of liked it up here. So if you have that so it hides it, and then this goes Let me use that other one so that's not the same exact colors in the same order. And then the cheers kind of hides it. Okay. So just a little glue. I haven't even tried this, but you could actually probably even make like a big sun. If you put a couple, you could make you just only need 3. You see what I'm doing? You put 3 around, you can make a circle of a sun. All right, use dimensionals on that. I lost them. And these shapes I used from the Stylish Shapes that I use a lot. They kind of fit perfect. So cheers. And then we're going to add some hearts on the top here. And that's still my color scheme because that's Petunia Pop, but again, it's pretty close to like Berry Burst. It's sticking to me. I'll go like that. I think I'll use a dimensional on the big one. And then I was doing glue on the other 2. Tweezers are definitely helpful with these little guys. And I haven't stamped on the inside of any of my cards, but there is figured cheers and then to the happy couple or on your wedding day, both of those would work inside. So here are the 3 that use that same color scheme, but they're all a little bit different, but they all kind of work together because of that. You know, I kept them within this range. Oh, uh-oh. Okay, can you guys hear me still? Something went wrong. I'm just picking my phone. Let's see, can I turn my camera around? Hold on a second, something went wrong. I'm just trying to turn my camera around. I have to remember how I can do this. Settings, camera. Font. Okay. I don't even know where to look on this camera. Something went wrong, and so but basically you got to go see most of the project. So I'll take pictures of each of them and I will explore how to use the color wheel more, and I'll share once I learn more, I'll share more. So not really sure what wrong. I can't see the comments on here. I'll go back and look. Hopefully you guys can still see me. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.